Hi everyone, welcome back to Learn Turkish the Easy Way channel. This is our next live session on random topics. As those who are the subscriber of this channel, who are the continuous followers of these videos, you already know that random topics usually cover not sequential topics, but topics that really come to my mind and I decide to cover on a random basis. So today I chose, as a topic, I chose to cover the up, ip, up, suffixes that we add to the verbs, to the verb roots. And this is one of those, not necessarily very frequently, but still kind of a utilized structures in Turkish language that helps to make the speech easier, that shortens the speech, that facilitates the speech, and even pronunciation. So what do we have about this? It is all about verbs, actually, right? This is a suffix that is added to the verbs. Therefore, it is something that is it's the suffix that makes verbs out of verb. Okay. So before we start, let me just go to the workpad, and just before we start, if you are still not a member of this channel, you're encouraged to subscribe. We also have this Telegram link specified, that will be also specified in the description of this video. And if you really enjoy this channel's videos, I would appreciate a thumbs up to this video, a like to this video, as well as your sharing this video with your friends and people who are interested in learning Turkish language. So let's see now what is the grammar structure. I'm also checking the second screen here. Sometimes people ask why I'm looking at the left side, so I have a second screen here where I project other things for easiness purposes. So what is the rule of adding this up, ip, up, suffix to the verbs? What is the purpose? What is the how do we do it? Okay, so let's go and look at that. Let me bring it up. So the rule is basically what we use: up, ip, up, suffixes to verbs of the same person and tense. This is very important. Okay, so this suffix is added. Okay, let me just make it bold, all of them. These suffixes are added to the verbs of the same person and tense. So if I say, for example, I came, I did, I went, right, I asked, they all belong to me because the person is first I, right? It's me, I, and second, the tense is also same. It's the past tense, right? If you talk about the future tense, you will be saying, for example, I will go, I will do, I will play, I will ask, right? I will ask. So you see, it's here still the first person, it's the same person, and second, it's the future tense now. All the verbs are in the future tense. So we only add these suffixes in the cases where we're talking about the same verbs and the same tense. Okay, the same person and the same tense. If we have multiple verbs, at least two, of course, at least two. It has to be at least two. So when we have these multiple verbs, at least two verbs of the same person and of the same tense. Okay. Second rule or note is that it is added to the root of the verbs before the last verb. What does it mean? If you have a couple of verbs, at least two verbs, three verbs, right, multiple verbs that belong to the same person and tense in the sentence, the last one is always kept unchanged. We don't add anything to that one, but every other verb before that, every other verb preceding the last verb, it gets the up, ip, up suffixes that is added to the root of the verb. What is the root of the verb? It is the part without mak, right? For example, if yapmak, the root will be yap. Gitmek, the root will be git. So any structure without mak is the root of the verb. So we attach that those suffixes up, ip, up only to the root of the verbs that precede the last verb. Okay. So if you have four verbs that belong to the same person and tense, then three early ones, right? The first three will be getting up, ip, up, and the last one will be unchanged. Why do we not change the last one? Because the last one denotes the tense and the person. We understand it from that one, okay? So we change it basically, the previous one, the previous three ones, and the last one is there for us to know what tense is that and what person is that. So we only deal with the preceding ones, okay? If you have 6 verbs that you have to change, you will have basically 5 of them. The first 5 will be changing, right? Getting this up, ip, up suffixes, and the last one will be unchanged, okay? What else? The last verb is usually also the last action, okay? Usually verbs are put in the order of their happening, okay? So if you, for example, say I drank and then went, drank will come first and then went will come second, okay? So usually the verbs, you will use the structure where you already know the order of the activities, where you know what happened first, or what will happen first and what will happen next, okay? What else? You can add it to as many verbs as you like, as many as you have in the sentences. So it doesn't matter whether you have 2 verbs or 20 verbs. Usually all the verbs preceding the last one will be changed, can be changed, okay? So there is no problem with modifying the verbs as many as you like. So where do you use? Of course we will see examples, don't worry about that. We will see examples to make it clear for you. Where do we use up, ip, up, up? We use it to show the order of actions, okay? Where people will know that the first action is this, then the other happened, and then the next happened, and then the last happened, okay? Then we use it to replace the and conjunction, and again we will see that in an example. The third, we will denote the nature of activity, which means how we did it, okay, using what, through what, and the last one is to denote the cause of activity. Okay, so let's look at the examples, and they will be clear, much more clear in the examples. Okay, these 4 causes, I will show them why or how it happens. So let's look at the examples here. This first example. Okay, here we have what? We have 2 verbs, gittim and geldim. Both of them are in the past tense, in the simple past tense, right? And the person is first person I. So I went and I came. So we have 2 verbs that are combined through the conjunction ve, right? Eve gittim ve geldim. So this structure is a bit long, okay? It is long for the speech purposes. Therefore, we can use this ip right here, ip suffix, to combine both of them, and also removing this ve, right? This and conjunction, we remove that one, and that's exactly what is what. This is this one, right? First of all, we show the order because I first came home, so I went home, right? And then I came. So we already know what happened first, what happens next. So it is first of all the a, and second it also replaces the ve, right? The and conjunction. So here in this example, actually we have 2 of the purposes met. First, we know the order of the activities, but also we know that we replace ve here. Okay, we replace and here. So what do? As we mentioned above, right? This rule, it is added to the root of the verbs. So here, gitmek is the verb to go. So gid, of course, there is some kind of modification of consonant here, but don't worry about that. So eve gidip geldim, right? We added this ip to the root of gitmek, of the verb gitmek. So gidip geldim. Eve gidip geldim means I went home and came, okay? So that and is hidden here. That and is hidden. So actually this ip means the verb and, okay? So I went home and came. So if you really want to make this gidip to translate it, it means I went, okay? I went and. That will be gidip. I went and then geldim will be came. So here you see again we have 2 verbs. Both of them are in the past tense, but we only change one of them because the last one always have to be unchanged. The last verb, right, which is also the second verb, it has to be unchanged because from this we understand the tense, which is past tense, and we also understand the person, which is the first person, okay, first person I. You see, that is why we keep the last verb unchanged. Only the previous one is getting ip ending here. Okay, eve gittim ve geldim. That is too long. We shorten it and make it eve gidip geldim. Okay, I went home and came. The second example will be, let me bring that one. Her sabah kalkar ve spor yaparım. This is not the past tense, okay? Kalkar and yaparım, spor yaparım, it is present tense, simple present tense. So here we are going to modify again two verbs. We have two verbs and we will modify one of them to combine them, okay? So her sabah kalkıp spor yaparım means her sabah kalkar ve spor yaparım. So how do we know which tense is this from this one? Of course this one, right? Yaparım already tells me that it is first person present tense, simple present first person tense. Yaparım, and therefore it means kalkıp also is kalkar, means kalkarım, right? Her sabah kalkarım ve spor yaparım. Actually, let me complete this one because that should be the full one. Her sabah kalkarım ve spor yaparım. That is the full, complete version. Her sabah kalkıp spor yaparım is the shortened version of that, and we add this up to the root of the verb kalkmak. Okay, kalkmak. Kalk is the root of kalkmak, so we added up to the kalk, root kalk. So I get up, right? Kalkarım, I get up. Do sports, spor yaparım. Every morning, her sabah, and therefore we combine them into one. Okay, so now two verbs are combined through this up suffix. Okay, again it's shorter and it's much more kind of appropriate for the language, so sorry, for the tongue. So what do we have here? Here again we replace ve, right? It's this it's order. We denote order, right? We denote order of actions. So first I get up and then I do sports, and second we also replace the conjunction ve, which is and. This example also does the same, serve the same function as the first example here. Let's look at the third example. Çay içeceğim ve gideceğim. Now this is the future tense, you see. So here we had, in the first example we had past tense, right? Both of these verbs were past tense. In the second example, both of these verbs, kalkarım and yaparım, were present tense. Now we have an example of the future tense. Çay içeceğim, right? Çay içeceğim ve gideceğim. I will drink tea and I will go, right? So you combine them again. Here we have an order, right? First you drink, then you go, which means you denote the order. You also replace this ve again, as in the first two examples, and you combine it through the suffix ip, which is attached to the root of the verb içmek, right? İçmek, and you see this future tense structure goes away, right? İçeceğim here goes away because the second verb is anyway the same, right? Don't forget, we do it only when we have the same person and the same tense. So içeceğim is in the same person and the same tense as gideceğim. Therefore we get rid of this eceğim and add only ip, completing that one with the second verb, which is unchanged. So çay içip gideceğim, which means I will drink tea and then go. Okay, çay içip gideceğim. And let's look at the next example. Next example is long one, where I have multiple verbs deliberately for you. Now we don't have any conjunction here, right? We don't have any and conjunction here. We don't have ve, but here we have order, right? So what do I say? Eve gideceğim, I will go home, right? Yemek yiyeceğim, I will have dinner, I will eat dinner, whatever it is. Duş alacağım, I'll get shower. And of course then I will sleep. So here and is omitted, but of course in English translation will be better if you use and, right? Not having kind of this dry verbs one by one. So you complete in English with and, but in Turkish it is quite normal to have this in without and. So how do you combine all this? So you have how many verbs? They are all in the future tense, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Gideceğim, yiyeceğim, alacağım, and duş alacağım, right? Duş almak is to get shower. And uyuyacağım. So you have 4 verbs, therefore you can change 3 of them which precede the last one, right? So 3 of them, which is gitmek, it will be gidip, eve gidip, yemek yiyip, right? Here yemek is to yiyip is kind of it's a regular verb, So don't pay very much attention to this irregularity. It's a very irregular verb, okay, in Turkish language. Yemek. Yemek yiyip, duş alıp, almak, right, gets up, alıp, uyuyacağım. And we don't put any comma after between the last verb and the preceding verb, okay? It's always combined. So, duş alıp uyuyacağım. You kind of get the shower and sleep. And we don't put comma here again. Don't forget, we don't put comma here before uyuyacağım. So, I'll go home, have dinner, get showered, and sleep. That is how you combine multiple verbs. And here again, you see, all of them. So these verbs that we changed, right, gidip, yiyip, alıp, they all are actually dependent on what? They are dependent on the last one, uyuyacağım, which means all previous three verbs denote me, right, and denote future tense. So it's first person future tense. You can also change the person. Let's change the person and for example the verb, right? Sorry, the tense, for example. Let me first change the person, okay? So gideceğiz. Let's make it gideceğiz. Gideceğiz, which means we, right? Yemek yiyeceğiz, duş alacağız, and uyuyacağız. Ve uyuyacağız. So now everything is here is same. You see, you don't change anything here. You only change the last one because it's the last verb that makes for us clear what is preceding, okay, which person we are talking about. So you see, only the last verb changed. Even if we changed everything here, right, above, all the verbs had to be changed to denote we, right, to denote first person plural. But when it comes to this sentence, we only changed the last one because all of these three preceding ones depend on the fourth one. Whatever is the fourth one, that means it is all about that person, okay? That is basically how we, let me see if we have any other example. No, I don't have any more examples, but usually, so I didn't show you examples of what? I didn't show you examples, so we have, this is the order, right? This is denoting the order. We know in which order the activities happen. Therefore, we covered these two, right? These two purposes. What about the other two purposes where you have the nature of activity showing and the nature, denote the cause of activity? Let me give you two examples for those. Let's start with the first, kind of third example, okay? Denote the nature of activity. How can you denote the nature of activity using this structure? So you can say, for example, film izleyip eğlendik. Okay, film izleyip eğlendik is the shorter version of what? Film izledik ve eğlendik, right? We transformed this one, right? We transformed this one into this one, okay? So what do we actually want to, let me just actually replace them, okay? Change the place, order. Okay, so film izledik ve eğlendik became what? We change this one and make it izleyip, right? İzleyip got ip here. Film izleyip eğlendik. This is the nature. We show what does it mean? We watched movie and entertained, right? We had fun. So eğlenmek means to have fun. Okay. So how did you have fun? By watching movies. That is the nature of your activity. That's how you can use this ip, right, to denote the nature of your activity or your action. So here you say film izledik ve eğlendik. We had fun because we watched movie. We had fun by watching movie, okay? Or we had fun through watching movie. That is how we can use ip, this this suffix to explain or kind of to denote the nature of activity, okay? Or for example, you can say çay içtik, right? Çay içtik, we drank tea ve sohbet ettik and had talk, okay? And talk. Sohbet etmek is to have talk, right? So how do you combine it? Çay içtik, which means we drank tea, ve sohbet ettik, we had talk, right? We talked. So you can combine it by saying çay içip sohbet ettik. Çay içip sohbet ettik, right? Which means what? We drank, we had talk by, and our activity was kind of characterized by drinking tea, okay? We had talk, yes, but that was not kind of a dry talk, it was a talk where we drank tea. So basically you show how the nature of your activity, where drinking tea was part of that talk. Okay, so that is an example of what? Of the nature of activity, this third one. Okay, it is the example of this third one to denote the nature of activity, how you did it, how you. And let's now talk about the last one, which is denote the cause of activity, where you can use this up-ip to denote the cause of activity. So seni gördüm, okay, ve sevindim. I saw you, görmek is to see, right? Seni is the accusative case of sen. Seni gördüm, I saw you, and I got happy or glad. So, which means what? Seni görüp sevindim. So, gördüm is past tense, right? Both of them are past tense, so we change the first one by adding görüp, right? Görüp. Seni görüp, this is now üp, right? Seni görüp sevindim. Which means what? I got happy, right, by seeing you. I got happy because I saw you. That is the cause. Now we show the cause of our second action. So second action is caused by the first one here. Of course, there are two different verbs. Again, there is an order. I first see you, right, and then I get happy. But again, we combine three causes here. You see, we combine three causes. We combine which causes? Let me just kind of repeat one more kind of the three ones. So here we have first the order, right? I saw you and I got happy. So it is about the order, short order. Second, we replace the and conjunction here, right? This conjunction goes away. Seni gördüm ve sevindim, right? Ve goes away. And last one, it is used to denote cause of activity, where my seeing you leads to my being happy. Okay, so seni görüp sevindim. Or let me just onları, okay, bunları duydum ve üzüldüm. Okay, üzüldüm. Üzülmek is to get to be sad, to get sad, right? Bunları duydum ve üzüldüm. Okay? Or let's make it first person plural, right? Duyduk. Biz, we, right? Biz. Bunları duyduk ve üzüldük. We heard about this, about these happening, right? So these things. Bunlar means these. Bunları means the accusative case of bunlar, right? So we heard about these things, and we were sad to hear that. Okay, we were sorry to hear that. We got sad that we heard these kind of things. So duymak and üzülmek, right? We have two verbs here, duymak and üzülmek. The roots are duy and üzül. So what do? We combine them again. We got sad because we heard these things, right? Positive, negative things about something. So therefore, here it's a cause again. So we get rid of ve. We first hear, then we get sad. It's an order, and also it's a cause and effect relationship where we got sad because of whatever we heard. Okay. So how do we combine them? Bunları duyup üzüldük, right? Bunları duyup, right? You cut here this part and ve. Get rid of ve. Bunları duyup üzüldük. Okay. This is an example again, second example of the cause and effect relationship. So that's basically four possible causes, right? How we can use it, and again we can use them combined, right? They are not mutually exclusive. You can use them together at the same time to replace the conjunction ve, right? To denote cause of activity, to show the order. And by default, don't forget that whatever you have, it's always the last one happens the last. Okay, the last verb. You see how we had four verbs here, right? And they are placed in the order of their happening. It should be always like that. You cannot, for example, say yemek yedik sonra eve gittik, right? You first go home, then you have dinner. You cannot have dinner before going home. So here, when you have multiple verbs and you want to make them using kind of a if you want to transform them into the up, ip, up suffixes, they have to be in the order, in the logical order, and you always change the previous ones before the last verb. Okay, the last verb always retains is retained unchanged. The last verb always stays unchanged because that is the verb based on which we understand what person and what tense we are talking about, right? And again, here you see sohbet ettik, it's past tense. Üzüldük is past tense. Uyuyacağız is the future tense, right? Gideceğim is the future tense here. Yaparım is the present tense here. And geldim is the past tense here. You see, the last verb is the one based on which we understand what tense we are talking about and which person is mentioned here, which person is meant in these sentences. Okay, so I hope this lesson is clear and you can freely use this structure. It's very again popular. Okay, it's not something rare. We use it on a daily basis to combine this kind of multiple verbs through these suffixes. I hope you liked the class. Merhaba Hansao, welcome, thanks for joining. Again, if you liked the video, if you enjoy these videos, your thumbs up, your like to the video will be appreciated. See you in the next classes. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye bye.